Candidates gearing up for two presidential debates this week. On Tuesday, Republicans take the stage in Milwaukee for a Fox Business Network Wall Street Journal debate. And on Saturday, Democrats face off in Iowa. Let's bring the Fox News political insiders in. Pat Caddell, a former pollster for President Jimmy Carter and Fox News contributor, joining us via satellite. And John Leboutiller, former Republican congressman for New York, and Doug Schoen, former pollster for President Bill Clinton and a Fox News contributor as well, on set with me here. Gentlemen, we have dwindled it down to just 2 days before the next debate. Handicap it for me, John.
Well, we have a lot going on as we go into Tuesday's debate. And I think this weekend saw the two front runners sort of in different directions. As you reported at the top of the hour, we think huge ratings for Donald Trump on Saturday Night Live.
Huge.
Huge.
I don't know.
The hugest ratings. And Ben Carson under fire for his own biography, questionable assertions, which may in the short run help him. We know that he raised $3.5 million last week because of these things. And I know how the right feels about when their candidate is under assault in the media. They rally to that candidate. So for the short run, I don't think this is going to hurt Carson.
Well, not just under assault. This is a resume point, and I read research recently where, you know, the resume is the thing that people typically have some problems with along the way in terms of just, it was 30 years ago.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Look, I've read what Ben Carson is alleged to have done or not done.
Do you think it's important to voters?
No, I really don't. He's an outsider. His case is a compelling one, coming from Southwestern High School in Detroit, going to Yale, becoming a premier pediatric neurosurgeon. It is a stellar story. And you know what? If General Westmoreland informally offered him an appointment to West Point, if there are white students who don't remember Ben Carson offering to be of help during the riots, I don't think that's going to make a hill of beans worth of difference. Harris, these are outsiders. The electorate is angry at what's going on in this country. I don't think...
And they hate the media.
And they hate the media. I don't think this is going to impact the front-runner status of Carson or Trump.
Well, the difference between you and me or anybody else with a resume point in a book is that, you know, normally they would bet that sort of thing. I want to go to Pat now, just on his thoughts. That might have helped. But what's your feeling about this just in total as we head into the debate?
Well, my feeling is this. Watching George Stephanopoulos this morning trying to probe Ben Carson about events 30, 40 years ago and whether or not he did things, given the fact that he was hiding his connections with the Clinton Foundation, his serving as a Clinton advisor on the air. Let me tell you, so let's get serious here. Barack Obama got no vetting whatsoever about his Columbia experience or anything else. The problem here is that the mainstream media, which is nothing but an arm of the Democratic Party, it's given up protecting people, only goes after Republicans and conservatives or outsiders who threaten them. They do not do this to everybody. And so one day and I'll tell you, any Republicans that don't understand that they're fighting two enemies in this campaign are going to pay a price for it. I don't care what the journalists say, including Chris Wallace. That all a part of get you on the people that the mainstream media wants to get. And protect those it protects.
I will predict. I will
Pat
predict
speaks
that
his mind.
I think that the debate Tuesday night, because it's anchored by Neil Cavuto, I think it'll be the best of the four.
Yeah.
Because that guy's a pro, and there's not going to be this snarky minor league high school junk.
We are blessed with some great journalists in our building. Let's go now to Fox News polling, which shows kind of where these guys are. Not kind of, but there is a margin of error of 5%, so I say kind of. Let's pop it up. Look how much out in front Donald Trump and Dr. Ben Carson are. So you say that all of this helps out Ben Carson. Who's got the bigger challenge of the night?
The biggest challenge of the night is Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz, because as you point out about those numbers, they are trailing badly. The mainstream...
Yeah, but at least they're in double digits.
Right, but Harris, they are at like 10 and 11%. Trump and Carson are in the mid-20s. 2-1, Trump and Carson are beating Cruz and Rubio. As you know, Harris, the lamestream media has been saying...
You called them lamestream.
You're sounding like Rush Limbaugh now.
I am, and
you're in the tank for Hillary at the same time.
You and Pat are going to lose your Democrat cards, but go on.
But no, you know what? I am a Democrat. I am for Hillary, but I also believe in reality and telling the truth. And you know what the truth is here? The electorate is angry, and despite predictions that Trump and Carson are going to fade, they haven't. They're just not dropping.
All right, so we've got one tweet coming in that has to do with Jeb Bush, and if you put those numbers back up, you'll see where he is.
4%.
Michael P. Mulhall says, how important is it for Jeb Bush to perform well at the Tuesday debate?
It's critical. I've heard from insiders, Harris, that the campaign is on life support. If he doesn't do well, he could drop out.
Pat, you said life or death. Why do you say that? And you mean politically,
for the very
obviously.
reason that Doug, I mean, obviously politically, I mean metaphorically, and for the reason that Doug said. His last debate performance, his donors are shaky, but he's trying to hold them. He looks lost in this campaign. And no one has voted yet, and they won't vote for 3 months, but nonetheless, or more. But he's got a problem sustaining which was once a front-running campaign. So he has a test. And let me just say something. Speaking of the lamestream and the biased media that we have in this country, but really the inside the Beltway media, their mentality of the political class, they've been writing, many of them, all week. Oh, my God, it's going to end up being Cruz versus Rubio. They act like, where do they think these people who are in revolt against things like that budget vote that took place, again in secret, negotiated in secret, that really ticked off many in the base, they're looking at this going, those people aren't going anywhere. Where do they think they're going to go? That's why Trump and Carson are still there. The question is, who can compete with them in that vote?
Interesting. Real quickly, we saw last week in a New York Times poll where people were asked, have you made up your mind or is it still too early to say? 71% said too early. Can we just pop up on the screen roughly at this point last cycle where we were? Newt Gingrich in first place. Mitt Romney in second, and they'll eventually put that up there. And Herman Cain in third. It is still really early, but Doug, you say it is still very critical.
Well, but look at those numbers. Gingrich and Romney at the top of the poll. What ultimately was the final two who competed for the nomination? Gingrich and Romney.
No, it was Santorum and Romney. Gingrich was gone. It was Santorum was second place.
But, John, my point is
big deal.
that up through, I guess...
So you think the Fox News poll is wrong, but anyway, go ahead.
No, I'm not saying the Fox News poll is wrong. I am saying the staying power of Gingrich and Romney in that polling from 2011 to 2012, if it is predictive, suggests that Trump and Carson will do exactly what Pat Caddell said, stay around a lot longer than the media is suggesting. We've spent the bulk of our franchise here trying to explain to viewers why that's the case.
By the way, if that is true, and I agree with you, Doug and Pat, if they each stay in the mid-20s, right? So that's 50+% of the vote to those two gentlemen. How could another candidate get up there?
Tough.
They can't do it.
But not impossible. We'll keep watching.